I want to take you back to a flight I worked 3 years ago. It was a red-eye from New York to London. The cabin lights were dimmed. Most passengers were asleep. In seat 12A, there was a gentleman I'll call Mr. Arthur. He was 74 years old, traveling alone to visit his sister. He was charming, well-dressed, and seemed perfectly fine when he boarded. About 4 hours into the flight, I did my routine walkthrough. I saw Mr. Arthur slumped over. Now, on a red-eye, everyone looks like they're slumped over. But something was wrong. His color was gray. I tried to wake him. No response. I shook his shoulder. Nothing. My training kicked in. "Medical emergency," I called to the crew. We laid him flat in the galley. He wasn't dead, thank goodness, but his pulse was thready and weak. We needed to know. Was he diabetic? Was this a heart condition? Was he on blood thinners? We found his phone in his pocket. We tried to open it to find his medical ID or call his emergency contact. It was locked. We tried Face ID. It wouldn't work because his eyes were closed. We tried to guess his passcode. We failed. For 90 agonizing minutes until we landed, we were flying blind. We didn't know if giving him sugar would save him or kill him. It turned out Mr. Arthur had simply taken a sleeping pill that interacted badly with his blood pressure medication, causing him to faint. He was fine the next day. But that terror, the silence of being unable to speak for yourself while surrounded by strangers, is the #1 risk for solo travelers over 70. The danger isn't pickpockets. It isn't getting lost. The danger is the silence. If you are traveling alone, you do not have a spouse to say, "He takes warfarin," or "She is allergic to penicillin." Today, I'm going to show you how to break that silence, so that even if you are unconscious, you are still commanding the room. If we haven't met before, welcome. My name is Sarah. I've been a flight attendant for 15 years. I've flown millions of miles, and I've had the privilege of serving thousands of seniors. I've seen the absolute best of solo travel. Women in their 80s hiking the Alps, men in their 70s navigating Tokyo subways with a smile. But I've also seen the vulnerable side. I call myself the guardian of travel because I treat every senior passenger like I would want a crew member to treat my own mother. I know that as we age, we don't lose our desire for adventure, but we do lose a bit of our physical resilience. Our reaction times slow down. Our hearing might fade. That is not a reason to stop traveling. It is a reason to armor up. I am not here to scare you into staying home. I am here to give you the industry secrets, the flight attendant protocol, that will make you safer than the 20-year-old backpacker sitting in row 30. By the end of this video, you will have a strategy that covers your health, your safety, and your confidence. Let's start with the solution to Mr. Arthur's problem. We live in a digital world. Your grandkids probably tell you, "Grandma, just put it in your phone. Use the health app." I'm telling you, do not trust the phone. This brings us to secret #1, the paper brain protocol. When a medical emergency happens, whether it's on a plane, in a hotel lobby, or on a tour bus, the first responders are focused on you, not your gadgets. As I mentioned with Mr. Arthur, facial recognition technology, Face ID, requires your eyes to be open and looking at the screen. If you have fainted, had a stroke, or are in shock, your phone is a brick. No one can access your contacts. No one knows who to call. If you arrive at a hospital in France or Thailand as a John Doe with no medical history, doctors have to guess. If they administer a contrast dye for a CT scan and you have compromised kidney function, they could send you into renal failure. If they give you a blood thinner and you are already on a blood thinner, you could bleed out. They need your history in seconds, not hours. I want to tell you about a passenger named Eleanor. She was 72, traveling solo to Rome. She had a TIA, a mini stroke, right after landing. She was confused and couldn't speak clearly. But Eleanor was smart. She had what I call the laminated lifeline in her front shirt pocket. The paramedics found it instantly. It listed her allergies and her neurologist's name, Because of that card, they skipped the triage questions and took her straight to the stroke unit. That piece of paper saved her brain function. You are going to create a laminated lifeline. Take a 3x5 index card. Type. Do not handwrite. Handwriting can be misread. The following in bold, large font. Name, your full legal name. DOB, date of birth. Urgent, traveling alone. Conditions, e.g., type 2 diabetes, hypertension. Meds, list every pill and the dosage. Allergies, e.g., penicillin anaphylaxis. Contact, name and phone number with country code of your next of kin. On the back, write, my health insurance policy number is, laminate it. You can buy self-laminating sheets at the dollar store. Placement is key. Do not put this in your wallet. Wallets get stolen. Do not put it in your backpack. Backpacks get separated from you. Put it in your front shirt pocket or on a lanyard around your neck, tucked under your shirt. It must be physically attached to your body. This next secret is going to ruffle some feathers. I know you are proud. I know you walk 2 miles a day at home. I know you don't think of yourself as disabled. ... But secret number 2 is this. The wheelchair service is not about disability. It is about energy conservation. Under the Air Carrier Access Act, ACAA, in the US and similar laws in the UK EU, airlines are required by law to provide wheelchair assistance to anyone who asks. You do not need a doctor's note. You do not need to be crippled. You just need to ask. I see so many seniors refuse this service because they worry about what people will think. They think, I'm not old. I can walk. So they walk. They drag a carry-on bag through a mile-long terminal. They stand in the TSA line for 45 minutes. They walk another mile to the gate. By the time they get to the plane, their cortisol levels are spiked. They are physically exhausted. They are dehydrated. This exhaustion causes brain fog. When you have brain fog, you leave your passport at the coffee shop. You forget to check the gate number. You become an easy target for scammers because you look confused and tired. Mrs. Gable, a lovely woman, 76. She refused the wheelchair because she didn't want to be a bother. She navigated Heathrow Airport alone. Heathrow is massive. By the time she got to the jet bridge, she was so tired that her foot caught on the metal transition plate. She fell hard. She broke her hip. Her European vacation ended on the floor of the jet bridge. If she had taken the chair, she would have been seated, safe, and expedited. When you book your ticket, or even now, by calling the airline, add a special assistance request. Select the option for distance assistance, or can walk stairs but need help with distance. Here is what this gets you. 1. TSA pre-check light. The wheelchair pusher takes you to the front of the security line. You don't stand. 2. Pre-boarding. You are the first on the plane. You can stow your bag without the stress of the gate lice, the crowd hovering to board. 3. Connection security. If you have a tight connection, the airline must get you there. If you are walking and you miss it, it's your fault. If you are in their chair and you miss it, it's their fault, and they have to rebook you. Swallow your pride. Save your legs for the museum, not the terminal. This third secret is about your itinerary. When you are booking your flights, you might be tempted to take the cheaper flight that lands at 10 p.m. Don't do it. This is secret number 3. The vampire rule. Never arrive in a new city after the sun goes down. As we age, 2 things happen biologically that make night travel dangerous. 1. Night vision degradation. Our ability to see contrast and depth in low light decreases. Uneven cobblestones in Europe or cracked sidewalks become tripping hazards. 2. Circadian confusion. When you land in a new time zone at night, your body is exhausted, but the environment is dark and possibly threatening. Your anxiety spikes. The most dangerous time in any solo trip is the 60 minutes between walking out of the airport and locking the deadbolt in your hotel room. This is the transition zone. If you do this at night, you look like a target. You are standing on a curb, squinting at maps, looking confused in the dark. I had a passenger, a retired professor, who flew into Barcelona. He took the cheap flight that landed at 11:30 p.m. He took a taxi to his hotel. The taxi couldn't go down the narrow Gothic Quarter street, so it dropped in at the corner. It was midnight. It was dark. He couldn't find the hotel sign. A helpful young man approached him and said, "I know where it is. Follow me." He followed him into an alley. The young man wasn't a guide. He was a thief. He took the professor's wallet and passport. If it had been 2 p.m., the street would have been bustling. The professor could have seen the sign, and he wouldn't have needed help. 1. The virtual walk. Before you leave home, open Google Maps on your computer. Type in your hotel address. 2. Drag the little yellow man icon onto the street. Street view. 3. Virtually walk the last block. Look for the front door. What color is the awning? Is there a landmark next door, like a bakery or a bank? 4. Memorize the visual cues so when you arrive, you get that déjà vu feeling. Ah, there is the green awning. I am safe. 5. Pay the daylight tax. If the flight that lands at 2 p.m. costs $50 more than the flight that lands at 10 p.m., pay it. That $50 buys you safety, visibility, and confidence. This next secret is about social engineering. Criminals and predators, whether they are pickpockets in Paris or scam artists in Florida, are essentially biologists. They study the herd. They look for the stragglers. They look for what we call the lone antelope. If you are 75 and sitting alone at a restaurant table, staring at a map, you are broadcasting a signal. I am alone. I have no backup. I am vulnerable. This brings us to secret number 4, the table for two lie. I was raised to be polite. I know you were too. If a nice young man or a friendly couple strikes up a conversation in the hotel lobby, your instinct is to be truthful. Oh yes, I'm here all by myself. My husband passed away 3 years ago, so I'm doing this trip for me. Stop. You have just given them the keys to your security. Hotel lobbies and hotel bars are hunting grounds. Professional hotel thieves dress like guests. They sit near the check-in desk to overhear room numbers. They chat you up to assess your awareness level. If they know you are alone in room 412, they know there is no angry husband or son waiting behind that door. I met a passenger named Margaret on a flight back from Mexico. She was shaken. She had been eating dinner alone at her resort. A charming man, about 50, started chatting with her. He bought her a dessert. She told him she was solo. She paid her bill and put her room key card on the table. He saw the folder with the room number. That night, at 2 a.m., someone tried to use a key on her door. It didn't work, thankfully, but then the door handle started jiggling violently. She called security. The man had claimed to the front desk that he was her nephew and had lost his key. Because he knew her name and room number from the dinner chat, the clerk almost gave him a spare key. Margaret spent the rest of her vacation barricaded in her room. You must learn to lie. It is not a sin. It is a shield. 1. The restaurant protocol. When the host asks, "Table for one," you say, "Table for two, please. My friend is joining me shortly." Sit down. Ask for 2 menus. The prop. Bring a spare jacket or a hat. Place it on the empty chair opposite you. If anyone asks where your friend is later, you say, "Oh, she has a migraine. She decided to order room service." To the outside world, you are part of a pair. The ghost companion. If a stranger asks who you are traveling with, you have a standard script. My husband is resting in the room. My son is meeting me here in an hour. Never ever admit to being the lone antelope. Now that you are in your room, how do you sleep soundly? I know many seniors suffer from insomnia. It's worse when you are in a strange bed, listening to strange creaks in the hallway. You might think, "I'm safe. I locked the deadbolt." This is secret number 5. The deadbolt is a decoy. I have stayed in over 1,500 hotel rooms. Here is the dirty truth. Hotel locks are electronic. Master keys. Every housekeeper, maintenance man, and manager has a key that overrides your deadbolt. Hackability. Electronic keycard systems, especially older ones, can be cloned by cheap devices bought on the internet. The walk-in. Front desk clerks make mistakes. They often accidentally check a new guest into a room that is already occupied. Imagine waking up at midnight to see a stranger opening your door because the front desk gave them a key. Even if it's innocent, the sheer terror can cause a heart event. The solution. You need a physical barrier that requires no batteries and cannot be hacked by a computer. You need a rubber doorstop. Go to a hardware store. Buy a simple, ugly black rubber wedge. It costs about $5. Or, if you want the pro version, buy a doorstop alarm. Brands like GE or Sabre. It looks like a doorstop, but if the door puts pressure on it, it emits a 120 decibel scream that will wake the dead and scare off any intruder. I had a flight attendant colleague, Sarah. She was staying in a 4-star hotel in Chicago. She used her doorstop. At 3 a.m., the door clicked open. Someone pushed. The door moved 1 inch and hit the wedge. It wouldn't budge. The intruder pushed harder. The wedge dug into the carpet. The intruder gave up and ran. Sarah never saw who it was, but that little piece of rubber was the only thing standing between her and an intruder. She slept through it, only noticing the wedge was jammed tight in the morning. 1. Pack it in your shoe. Put the doorstop inside your walking shoe in your suitcase so you don't forget it. The kick. When you get into your room and lock the door, place the wedge on the floor at the opening edge. Kick it tight. Don't just place it. Give it a firm kick with your heel to jam it under the door gap. Test it. Try to pull the door open. If it moves more than a centimeter, re-kick it. We talked about the paper brain earlier. Now we need to talk about the digital leash. I know. You value your independence. You don't want your daughter hovering over you, watching your blue dot move across the map. I'm 75. I don't need a babysitter. But secret number 6 is this. Tracking is not surveillance. It is proof of life. When you travel solo, if you slip on a hiking trail in Scotland, or if you take a wrong turn in a Moroccan souk and get confused, who knows you are missing? If you don't show up for breakfast, the hotel staff might wait 24 hours before checking. That is 24 hours too long. You must create a digital breadcrumb trail. A few years ago, there was a tragic case of a solo hiker in Greece. He was experienced. He slipped on a remote path. He was incapacitated. Because he hadn't shared his location, search and rescue didn't know where to start looking until 3 days later. By then, it was too late. Contrast that with my father. He is 78. He wears an Apple AirTag on his keychain and shares his iPhone location with me. He got lost driving in rural Italy. He called me in a panic. Sophia, I don't know where I am. I looked at my phone. I saw his dot. I said, Dad, you missed the turn. Turn around, drive 100 meters and turn left. I guided him out from 4,000 miles away. 1. iPhone users. Go to the Find My app. Click People. Click Share My Location. Enter your daughter's or son's email. Select Share Indefinitely. Tell them, you don't need to watch me, but if I don't text you by 10 a.m., look at the dot. 2. Android users. Go to Google Maps. Tap your profile picture. Tap Location Sharing. Select a contact and set the duration for your whole trip. 3. The AirTag trick. Buy an Apple AirTag, $29. Put one in your suitcase so you don't lose your meds. Put another one in your day purse or pocket. Even if your phone dies, the AirTag pings off other people's phones. Establish a protocol with your family. I will text you a thumbs up emoji, thumbs up, every morning at 9 a.m. and every night at 9 p.m. If the emoji doesn't come, they call you. If you don't answer, they look at your location. If you are stopped in a strange place, they call the hotel or the police. This is not nagging. This is your safety net. Finally, secret number 7. This is for my international travelers. You are in Tokyo, or rural France, or Brazil. You have a medical episode. Maybe your blood sugar drops, hypoglycemia. Maybe you are having chest pains, angina. You speak English. The paramedic speaks only Japanese. You clutch your chest. He thinks you're choking. You stumble because of low blood sugar. The police think you're drunk. This is secret number 7. Do not rely on charades to save your life. Medical terms are specific. Heart failure and heartburn sound different, but feel different. Blood thinner is a concept that doesn't translate easily with hand gestures. I had a passenger, Mr. Sato, flying to the U.S. He spoke very little English. He was diabetic. He started sweating and shaking mid-flight. He was aggressive, a symptom of low sugar. Another passenger yelled, "He's drunk! Restrain him!" I was about to put handcuffs on him. Then Mr. Sato pulled out a laminated card. It had an American flag on it. It read in English, "I am diabetic. If I am behaving strangely, I need sugar. Do not administer insulin." That card saved him from being arrested and possibly dying from insulin shock. I gave him orange juice. He was fine in 10 minutes. Google Translate camera. Download the Google Translate app on your phone. Action. Open the app. Click the camera icon. Point it at a menu or a medicine bottle. It translates the text live on your screen. This is magic for reading pharmacy labels abroad. The visual card. Before you go, find a website like Select Wisely or just use Word. Find the translation for your specific condition, e.g., I have a pacemaker. Find a picture icon of it. Print a card that says in the local language, "Please take me to a hospital. I am allergic to penicillin. I have a heart condition." Keep this with your passport. If you can't speak, let the card speak for you. We have covered your health and your physical safety. Now we must protect your lifeline, your money. There is a specific nightmare I see happen to seniors in places like Barcelona, Rome, or even New Orleans. You are enjoying the sights. You get bumped in a crowd. 2 hours later, you go to pay for lunch and your wallet is gone. If you are traveling solo and your only credit card and your only debit card were in that wallet, you are effectively stranded. You cannot pay for your hotel. You cannot buy food. You cannot pay for a taxi to the embassy. This brings us to secret number 8, the financial firewall, the decoy protocol. Pickpockets are magicians of distraction. They want speed. They want to grab the most obvious bulge in your pocket or the purse on your shoulder and run. If you keep all your eggs in one basket, they get all your eggs. You need to carry 2 wallets. One, the real wallet, the vault. This contains your main credit card, your driver's license, and large bills. Location. This goes in a money belt under your clothes, or in an interior zippered pocket of your jacket that is tight against your ribs. It never sees the light of day on the street. The decoy wallet, the sacrifice. This is a cheap throwaway wallet. Contents. Put $20 cash or local currency in small bills. Put in an expired library card or an old grocery loyalty card to make it look thick. Location. Put this in your back pocket or the top of your purse. The trap. If a mugger demands your money or a pickpocket reaches in, they get the decoy. You hand it over. They run away, thinking they scored. You are safe, and your real assets are untouched. I helped a gentleman named Mr. Henderson in the U.S. Embassy in Paris. He was 80. He had been pickpocketed on the metro. He had his passport, his 2 credit cards, and $500 cash, all in one fanny pack. The thieves cut the strap and took it. He had $0. He had no ID. He couldn't even buy a bottle of water. He sat in the consulate for 8 hours waiting for a wire transfer from his son. It was humiliating and terrifying for him. If he had separated his funds, it would have been an inconvenience, not a crisis. In addition to the wallets, I want you to have a sock stash. Take a single $100 bill or 100 euros. Fold it until it is tiny. Tuck it deep inside your sock or under the insole of your shoe. This is your catastrophe cash. If you are robbed, if you lose your bag, if everything goes wrong, you can take off your shoe and have enough money to pay a taxi driver to take you to the police station or the embassy. Secret number 9 is the most vital rule for my health-conscious travelers. Many of you take daily maintenance medications, blood pressure pills, statins, thyroid meds, insulin. These are not optional. You cannot skip them for 3 days while you wait for a lost bag. Airlines lose approximately 25 million bags a year. If you put your pill organizer in your checked luggage because I don't want the hassle at TSA, you are gambling with your life. This is secret number 9, the carry-on commandment. Medication never ever enters the belly of the plane. It stays with you, at your feet, in your purse. But we need to go deeper for the solo traveler, the split supply protocol. What happens if you leave your carry-on in a taxi? Or if it gets stolen? You need redundancy. 1. Primary stash. 90% of your pills go in your main carry-on. 2. Emergency stash. Take a small Ziploc bag. Put 3 days worth of every essential medication in it. Put this Ziploc in your jacket pocket or your body purse, the one that never leaves your body. If you lose your suitcase and your carry-on, you still have 72 hours of life-saving medicine on your person. That gives you enough time to find a local doctor or pharmacy. Ask your doctor to print a paper prescription for your generic medications. Use the chemical name, e.g., atorvastatin, not the brand name Lipitor, as brand names vary by country. Keep this paper folded with your passport. A pharmacist in Italy can read the chemical name and help you, but they can't help you if you just say the little white pill. I want to leave you with a final thought. I know the world feels faster than it used to. I know the news makes it look like a scary place. And I know that voice in your head, or maybe the voice of your children, is saying, "You're 75. Just stay home. It's safer." Yes, staying home is safer, but staying home is also smaller. You have worked for 40 or 50 years. You have raised families. You have built careers. You have weathered storms. You have earned the right to see the sunrise over the Swiss Alps. You have earned the right to taste fresh pasta in Florence. You have earned the right to sit on a beach in Hawaii and read a book with no one asking you for anything. Do not let fear shrink your world. Aging is not a disease. It is a privilege, and solo travel is the ultimate celebration of that privilege. So, go book the ticket, pack the bag, and put the meds in your carry-on, and send me a postcard. I'm Sophia, your guardian of travel. Be safe, be smart, and go see the world.